Hey, good morning. I'm Catherine. If you haven't watched one of my videos yet, and my business is Optimal Health Coaching. And I actually have a pretty cool idea for a blog this morning. I was talking with one of my clients on Saturday, and she said, why don't you blog about what your fridge says about you? So I think your fridge can kind of say a lot about how you treat yourself and how you live your life and that kind of thing. So I thought, why not start with explaining what my fridge says about me? So I took a look and I came up with 10 things that I think my fridge says about me and the people that I live with. So, yes, I'm sitting on the floor in my kitchen. Let's get started. We will start in the fridge. So, let's see. Top shelf, actually I'll lift this up a bit. There's some homemade Indian food, some Univera products that we drink, a couple condiments, pumpkin and applesauce and tomato paste in the corner. Second shelf, we've got a homemade orange avocado pistachio salad. In here we've got little mini breakfast muffins made with eggs and sausage. Here we've got salmon and beets and some butternut squash. And on the bottom shelf in here, I might actually have to pull this out and show you. So, some free-range eggs. Then we have these baked potatoes, which are baked sweet potatoes stuffed with bacon and onions and a veganaise. Some carrots, some little carrot energy balls, and some homemade salad dressing. And then the bottom, this is just stuffed with all sorts of veggies and produce and such. And then on the shelf, on the side, just basically some vitamins, some Dijon mustard, apple cider vinegar, some Indian paste, dates, brown sugar, salad dressing, that kind of thing. So, as you can see, so I think number one, the first thing that my fridge says about me is I'm super prepared and organized. So every Sunday we make all our food for the week. So you can see like breakfast is all ready, lunches, dinners, it's all ready to go. Actually, if you look in my freezer, when we're done eating that food, there's a huge batch of a chicken veggie soup that I made in there. And actually not too much else in there. So what that shows is just we're super on top of things and prepared with the food in our life. You could also say number two, you could say we're pretty cheap. So we don't really like to spend money on going out. We'd rather just buy good quality food from the store and make it at home. So you'll see no dining out leftovers and that kind of thing. I would say number three, we're pretty creative, so there's some things in there that I'm not sure the typical person would eat. We made these chickpea almond flour pancakes, and we had ham and carrots on those for breakfast the other day. So, yeah, we like to get creative with our foods. Number four, obviously, we like to cook. You know, if we didn't like to cook, we wouldn't spend all this time each week preparing all these awesome things. Number five, pretty obviously, we like to eat super healthy and whole foods. So there's not too many things in here that are, you know, canned or preserved items. I mean, there's a couple things in here that we buy once in a while. There's like this soy-free veganaise that tastes good in some recipes and like Indian paste and that kind of thing. But you won't, and egg whites, but you won't see too much else that kind of is not whole foods. That's kind of even more obvious when you look at our cupboard. Like, this is our food cupboard and there's literally nothing in it. There's some quinoa, there's some chickpeas, some tahini, and some apple cider vinegar. So we obviously don't eat like a lot of not fresh processed foods. I also noticed when looking at our fridge that we're pretty choosy with carbs. So you saw some sweet potato, there's a little bit of regular potato there. You saw some quinoa up in the cupboard, but the rest of the carbs, like a lot of it, comes from veggies for us, which is what we prefer and works better. I also noticed when you look at our fridge, you realize we like to try new things. So there's a lot of things that we kind of buy and then try to incorporate. So this is dulse, which is a seaweed, which is super high in, I guess, protein and B12. So sprinkling this on salads and buying some ginger and trying to grate that into teas and different foods and that kind of thing. I think the most recent thing we got creative with was this we bought last weekend. It's clarified butter, ghee. It's huge in the paleo community, I guess. But basically it's like a cooking fat from grass-fed cow's milk. So I guess an alternative to butter or coconut milk or coconut oil. Another thing I decided, you can tell from our fridge, is we're not picky. So in here I made these carrot cake. I made these carrot cake energy balls, and they're actually really not that tasty, but we're probably gonna eat them anyways because, yeah, we're not too picky, and as long as it tastes a little bit good. An embarrassing fact for number 9 is you can obviously tell we're not clean. The bottom shelf is disgustingly dirty, so you know the food might be super healthy and all organized and prepared, but yes, I must admit I am not the cleanest. I'm not the biggest fridge cleaner out there. And then finally what I put on here is, we really think it's important to get good quality meats and veggies, especially the meats. So all the meat in here is organic and free range from our local meat store, and we try our best with the veggies too, to get kind of, if we can't get organic, at least kind of get something local where we recognize where it's coming from. So yeah, obviously spending a little bit more money on food in a week than we would if we were eating those frozen lasagnas or frozen pizzas or whatever else it was that we used to eat when we grew up. But we recognize, when we eat this way, we don't crave other junk foods and we feel awesome and that kind of thing. So yeah, I think my fridge tells a lot about me, and I'd be super interested for a tour of your fridge, or maybe even a description of, what's in your fridge each week, and maybe there's some funny things you can share with us. Okay, thanks again.